Just a heads up, I can almost guarantee that Volume 333 is going to cause just as much of a split in the fanbase as much as Volume 2 did, if not more. Just saying ahead of time. Remember to respect others' opinions and comments and stuff, no matter what side they're on. This is what Alex Kister, the creator of the Mandela Catalogue, said about the newest episode of the series on Twitter. Follow mine, by the way. What exactly could this nearly 30-minute episode hold that would cause him to say this? Let's get into it. For anyone who somehow doesn't know, the Mandela Catalogue is an analog horror series that was started on June 9th of 2021 by Alex Kister. There's honestly far too much to get into for me to give you a play-by-play of everything that's happened so far in this video, so I'd recommend watching through his videos yourself, as his channel will be linked below. The short version is that these videos revolve around an entity called alternates, creatures that attempt to imitate other people or other organisms. These alternates use psychological warfare to destroy their target and most commonly affect people through technology. The victims of these creatures typically do not live very long, to put it lightly. Speaking of not having very long, let's not waste any more time and get into the newest episode. The episode starts off over a neighborhood as the camera zooms into a house. At this point, the atmosphere already seems oddly tense and empty, likely because of the lack of color. Everything feels so dark and abandoned. Suddenly we hear a baby crying. A woman is talking to the baby before she calls presumably her ex-husband, who begrudgingly decides to come over and help with the baby. During this conversation, we're shown a divorce paper revealing that the individuals talking are Jade and Lynn Murray, a couple who was only able to stay married for 2 years due to irreconcilable differences. Jade tells Lynn that,
"I swear to God, Lynn, if this is just an imaginary friend or something, I'm gonna lose it."
which you should definitely remember for later. Friendship seems to be a common theme here. It may sound odd, but while watching this segment, I had a very strong feeling that the baby was an alternate. The constant crying reminds me of the way the other alternates will continually repeat the same noise. We then see someone's eye watching a TV that continuously changes channels, possibly meaning that it's being possessed by an alternate. I really enjoyed this scene. Although it was likely stock footage of an eye, the reflection of the television was implemented seamlessly. Along with this, the tension is palpable in this portion. I'm sure everyone thought that an alternate would show up at any second.
What about us?
We'll always have Paris. Speed hundreds of telephone calls as well as television programs.
Oh, don't worry, it didn't. We again switch to a video of Mandela County Sergeant Ruth Weaver and Lieutenant Thatcher Davis being promoted before it plays a message a principal left to the police department about Mark Heathcliff, a character that I'm sure you're very familiar with. They have no contact info for his family, and he hasn't shown up for days. Of course, we already know the reason for that.
Let me in, Mark. I have a gift for you. I have a present. I have a surprise. I will not hurt.
The police arrive at the Heathcliff's very dark house, and a video taken by an officer begins playing under the title Heathcliff v. Altercation. I'm not sure if this is evidence in a court case, like his relatives are suing the police department for whatever reason, or if this is evidence of an altercation between the already deceased Mark and an unknown officer, or even an alternate. I'd rather it not be the second option. It opens up with them briefly recording the TV that's still on before showing Mark's censored body. A series of shell casings are seen on the bed, showing that Mark tried his hardest to fight off the alternate. They then take a tape recorder for evidence before discovering a Bible and notebook with the words, "Reassurances. God bless you all." Audio recorded from a security camera captures Ruth and Thatcher talking about a case Thatcher's working on, one that likely involves alternates. He says that he's found a new lead. Hopefully he doesn't get into any danger.
I'll believe it when I see it. See you later.
All right. Lock the door on the way out.
Here we're shown some evidence profiles of different people wherein they show their fingerprints and the items those fingerprints were found on. Along with these, we see some items of interest which include a camcorder and the tape within it. Next is a video of someone or something knocking on a door. This is probably a video off of the camcorder as the date is only 9 days prior to Mark's passing. The tape used in the tape recorder is titled, "The Voices Outside My Room." It plays the voice of Caesar at first, but each time they play the tape, there are more and more voices.
What time is it? It's just after 8. I'm nervous for the time. Don't be nervous about the time.
This is either one alternate replicating many voices or, even worse, many alternates. We then see more pages from the notebook which say, God loves me unconditionally. Always remember that no matter the circumstance, God loves all of us simply because He has chosen to do so. He loves me when no one else loves me. I am at peace. Today is a day that I need God's love more than anything. I am alone and need to feel the warmth of His love and reassurance. My Lord, I am afraid. I beg for your love and protection against evil. I have no chance. The cops never came for me. Nobody came for me. Whoever is reading this, please stop it before it does this to anyone else. Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all... My eyes are wide open. I'm starting to wonder if all of those religious cartoon clips were watched by Mark. It may seem ridiculous, but I wonder if that was the way that he discovered the alternate angel that appeared in them, and that's what caused him to begin to question who he was praying to. It might be something to think about. It switches to a wanted poster for Caesar's alternate. It's not clear what exactly they could do even if they caught said alternate, but either way, let's continue. Mandela Tech makes his way back into this video, who remembers him, and we hear Dave tell Mr. Davis that he recovered what he could from the tapes. We're briefly shown a video from the tape titled The Light of the Subconscious, wherein we see a mask before we hear the voice of Stanley, who looks very similar to the character from Limbo, The Organized Mind by Jim Henson and Raymond Scott. He talks about friends, more specifically, how he can make friends appear out of thin air. Just close your eyes and imagine what your new friend would be like.
I think it's time to meet your new friend. Now just close your eyes and think really hard about your new friend. Can you keep an even bigger secret? I think it worked. Your new friend is somewhere in your house. Now it's up to you to go and find them.
A 911 call between Jude Murray, from the beginning of the episode, and Lieutenant Thatcher Davis plays, wherein Jude talks about a man standing in the corner just staring at him. Jude is also confused as he's had the doors and windows locked for months, which to me means that it likely got in through the TV that the person was watching earlier. Or maybe it arrived because someone created a new friend with their imagination.
Are you absolutely sure it's not the...
No, I keep telling you, it's not. I've had it unplugged for weeks now.
I swear to God, Lynn, if this is just an imaginary friend or something, I'm gonna lose it.
When asked if they looked similar to anyone he knew, Jude said no, that he'd never seen any human that looked like that before. This confuses Thatcher, implying that he may have had the assumption that only alternates of people close to the victim typically enter their home and attack them. I could be off base with that one. Thatcher calls Ruth, who is already on the way to Jude's home. When he tries to ask Jude for the address, there is no response.
Sir.
Ruth needs backup as she's been abandoned by the other officer. This is looking really bad.
Jesus. Hey, Bruce, what's the address?
An automated camera takes pictures of a very familiar stairwell, however this time nothing of significance shows up. We then see a video from inside of the house where the officer hears music before they stumble upon a TV playing static, clearly already possessed by an alternate. The camera that Thatcher has starts malfunctioning, and when he tells Officer Root that his camera is down, he gets no response.
Camera's down, Weaver. Weaver.
Hello? Identify yourself.
The TV alternate begins copycatting the officer and says,
What do you want?
before something runs towards the officer quickly. The next audio is a faint whispering voice singing Amazing Grace, which is by far one of the creepiest parts of this video. The voice sounds almost human, pretty much exactly what I would guess an alternate would sound like. On top of that, it's no coincidence that an alternate is the one singing a religious song, especially considering how long alternates have had ties to the Christian religion. In the event that I'm wrong and that's actually supposed to be Thatcher and not the alternate singing, which I highly doubt, just disregard that. Suddenly, we hear glass shatter as Thatcher runs, saying he'll find help, but if Ruth's still alive, just meet him at the station. At the police department, the radio plays Officer Davis requesting backup and assistance, only to receive no answer. He even asks units from other counties in a desperate attempt to get any help for Ruth. In the living room of the house Amazing Grace plays, the old and hollow noise of the music in the dark and abandoned room making everything feel even more empty and hopeless. Officer Davis continues to request backup to no avail. At the station, an alternate creature is recorded approaching Officer Davis as it uses voices of children talking about their imaginary friends before the screen "Uh-oh, bad decision, Thatcher" is shown. How familiar. The alternate is shown laughing before Thatcher shoots it and the words, "There's not enough room for the two of us, Lieutenant," are shown. An image of the alternate's grotesque form is presented to us before that same eye that was watching the TV is shown. After the credits, we see an image of two statues, which are I think Jesus and Pontius Pilate, but I could be wrong. However, someone else shows up as well, and they seem pretty familiar. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.